my cost of operation per mile is super low because my truck and my trailer are paid for. Are you sure? Let's talk about this a little bit. All right, you see cost per mile, not rate per mile, but cost per mile a lot on Facebook. I mean, it kind of goes in waves. You'll see it all over the place, then it disappears for a while, okay? And then it comes back again, right? And a typical cost per mile, realistically, about $1.15 a mile. Now, that's not driver pay, that's not profit, that's just, you know, about $1.15 a mile. That's what it costs to operate your business. You can throw your driver pay in and figure that out, okay? But then you get the guys on there and say, man, I'm at like 70 cents a mile because my truck and my trailer are paid for. Okay, all right. Who paid for them? Okay, who paid for them? If you're, especially a non-CDL guy, because most CDL guys, you know, that are in 550s and 450s, and maybe even 350, you know, one-ton dualies, they didn't already have that truck. Most people don't have a one-ton dually as their daily driver. Now, if you did, great. I actually had a 550 as a daily driver, believe it or not, for a while. I bought it to haul the camper and stuff, but that's what he drove around. You know, that's actually what I started hot-shotting in, was my old 550. Okay, but let's say you've got a Ram 2500 or an F250 or something like that that you already own and you've paid it off. It's a 15, a 17, a 13, a 6, you know, whatever it is, you know, and it's bought and paid for, okay? And now you're using that truck to go hotshot, okay? Well, who owns the truck, okay? Do you personally own the truck, or does the business own the truck? Now, you better hope that the business owns the truck, okay? You should have transferred that asset to the company, okay? Your limited liability company, your S-Corp, your however you set it up, okay? Unless you're doing it as a sole proprietorship, which I would not recommend, okay? I'm sorry for the glare in the glasses, guys. I got a light shining at me. Unless you're doing it as a sole proprietorship, the company should own the vehicle, okay? So let's say you've got a 10, a 15, a 17 truck or something like that that's valued at $20,000, $40,000, $60,000, okay? You already paid it off personally and you're using it for the trucking company now. That trucking company that you started needs to pay you for the truck, okay? I mean, if you want to give a truck away, I'll take it, you know, but that trucking company, your trucking company, needs to pay for the truck. So you need to have a monthly payment to pay yourself back, okay? Now, just for giggles, let's say it's a 2016 truck and you value that truck at $40,000. You know, I don't know if that's really reasonable, whatever. I don't know what truck you got. You got a 250, you got a 350, you know, what's its trim, what's its condition, you know, whatever. But let's say it's 40 grand, okay? And it's a 2015, 2017, whatever, and it has, you know, let's say you put 15,000 miles on it, it's been 5 years, you know, you've got 75,000 miles on it already, okay, before you even start hot shotting, okay, because that's obviously a hot shot truck we're talking about. Most people don't have semis as their daily driver, all right? So you got 75,000 miles on this thing, okay? You owe, the company, owes you 40 grand for that truck because that's what you agreed to pay yourself. That was, let's say it was fair market value. So if you pay yourself without interest $1,000 a month, that's 40 months, okay? That's 3.5 years that you're gonna have to pay yourself $1,000 a month, like a truck payment, to pay back the 40 grand that the company truly does owe you, okay? You know, if you started your company with $40,000 or $20,000 and you put that in as seed money, that company owes you that money back. It's the same thing with your truck. It's the same thing with your trailer. So if you're talking about a pre-purchased truck, a prepaid for truck, you have a truck payment, okay? It doesn't matter that the truck's paid off, you have a truck payment because the company owes you money, okay? It's the same thing with the trailer, okay? If you paid for the trailer privately, if you happen to have a gooseneck, maybe you came from the farm or something like that and you're using it, the company owes you money. So yes, even though your truck's paid off, you have a truck payment, right? Now, let's assume that you've done that, okay? You've got this existing truck and you've paid yourself back, okay? And let's say you did that in a matter of 2 years. Just for giggles, you did it in a matter of 2 years. So you had this truck, same example, had 75,000 miles on it. 2 years later, well, yeah, let's just say it took you 2 years, okay, because you really paid yourself. How many miles did you run it last year? Okay, real easy to do 100,000. Really easy to do 125. I did damn near 145. I'm about 133, 143 something. Silly amount of miles, okay, but it's what I did. Let's just say you did 100,000. That truck, at the end of 2 years, now has 275,000 miles on it, okay? How long before you need a new truck? Or how long before you need that engine? But Ron, in your other thing, you said save up 15 grand. I did. Save up 15 grand for when you need that new engine, okay? What else is that truck going to need? You're gonna have to save up more, because once you start hitting those higher numbers, at some point in time, you are going to need an engine. It's just, you know, if you keep the truck long enough, you're gonna need an engine. You're gonna need a transmission. You're gonna need a rear end rebuild. You're gonna need all new suspension. You know, springs do only last so long, your ball joints. You're gonna need all the brakes, you know. You're gonna start running into wiring issues at some point in time. Now, it might not be for 20 years, I don't know, okay? But the cost to maintain that vehicle is going to go up. So, at the point in time, 300,000 miles on a pickup truck, let's say the thing's still running nicely, okay? And you think you're gonna get 500,000, 600,000 miles out of it. Great, okay? You've paid yourself back in 2 years, okay? At this point in time, do you have a truck payment? My recommendation would be yes, okay? Now you have to make a decision here. When it's time to replace and or rebuild that truck, which one are you gonna do? Are you gonna replace the truck? Or are you gonna rebuild the truck, okay? If you like the truck, interior is great, you like the way it drives, and you can get an engine for 15 grand, you can get a transmission for, I don't know, 10 grand or something like that, whatever it is, for 25,000, maybe $30,000, you can get a completely fresh drivetrain. You can get a long block, have everything done. You can get a new turbo, new injectors, maybe a new engine harness. You eliminate that. You've got maybe a fully rebuilt transmission. They go through the rear end. They do all the ball joints. You got new brakes and everything. You've got yourself a freshly rebuilt truck for $25,000, $30,000. Okay, great. But you need to make yourself a payment, okay, to have that. Well, you've already got your 15 grand set up. Guess what? Pay yourself another $1,000, $1,500 a month till you get that next 15 grand set up, so that you have that truck sitting there, okay? Or if you say, well, I like paying cash, I want to pay cash for the next one. Well, where's that cash coming from, okay? You better start making a truck payment to yourself, okay? Or, you know, to the company. Hide that money to the side so that when it comes time, you can pay cash for your next truck. Or let's say I just want to put down 30 grand. Where's the 30 grand coming from, okay? You need to pay yourself, even if the truck is paid off, you pay yourself $1,000, $2,000, whatever number you pick. Don't make it 200 bucks. Pay yourself $1 grand a month until you get that down payment, okay? Then and only then, when you've got that down payment, when you've got enough money to fully rebuild your truck, when you've got enough money to pay cash for your next truck, whatever you decide to do, then and only then do you not have a truck payment, okay? Because if you think that, hey, I can take money out of the company because my truck's paid off, what happens when it breaks? Where are you going to get the money? You didn't put any money aside. You didn't put money aside in the company to make those purchases, to pay for the rebuild, pay for the down payment, to pay for the next truck. Even if you're going to go buy a used truck and put money into it. Diesels are expensive, and I'm assuming you're running a diesel. To have a diesel engine rebuilt in a pickup truck, you know, again, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, depending on what you want to have done. Do you want to replace the turbo? Do you need to replace this? You know, turbo could be 500 bucks, it could be 2,500 bucks. What engine do you have, okay? You need to consider these things. So, when you're on Facebook and you're arguing with the guy, and he says, my cost of operation is only 70 cents a mile, or 60 cents a mile, because my stuff is paid for, okay? I'd be willing to bet lunch, and maybe lunch and dinner, that that person hasn't truly considered the costs of having their truck and keeping it on the road, or having their truck and getting the next one, or having their truck and realizing they need to pay themselves for their truck, you know. something's probably missing. The only person who can truly argue that, in my opinion, is a guy whose truck has been paid off, has been paid back to himself, if that's the way that happened, has enough money to rebuild it, has enough money to buy a new one, has enough money to put a big down payment on it, okay? Whatever the goal is, whatever benchmark you set, then and only then do you not have a truck payment, okay? So please, don't get lulled into that, okay? Do yourself a favor, sit down, run some real numbers, do some research, you know, find out how much it's going to cost to have these things done when you need to do them, and make sure you have that money sitting to the side, okay? Now, you're gonna have that money sitting to the side in your first year? Probably not, okay? You know, money's not raining from the sky like it was, you know, a year ago and 2 years ago and 3 years ago, and you know, that whole time frame when the economy was just rip-roaring and they, you know, people were jumping in this business left and right because, again, they were just throwing money at you. It's tough right now, okay? And honestly, it's, my opinion, it's not really worth it. If you're on the fence, you know, I would, well, I'm not gonna say don't do it, because I got another video coming that, you know, people are gonna ask if this is a good time or not. And yeah, it's a perfectly fine time, but you have to have proper expectations. When I say it's not really worth it, it's the time away from home. Is that really worth it? Is the hourly wage really worth it? No, it's not great, okay? I think I got maybe 20 bucks an hour last year, okay? Something along those lines. It was ridiculously low. Maybe it was more, I don't know. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Make sure you have your finances in order. Make sure you understand cost of operation. Make sure you understand cost of replacement. Make sure you understand how much it costs to not have your truck on the road, okay? If your engine blows, do you have the money, okay? So anyway, I'm digressing. I'll probably have to edit some of this crap out because I get long-winded. As always, guys, please, if you like the video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe. I'd love to get a nice little following, people interacting, ask questions, make comments. If you agree with me, great, you know, thank you. If you disagree or if you have a different view, put it in the comments. Don't just hit the dislike button. Don't just call me an idiot. Make sure you tell me why I'm an idiot, okay? I get that at home, hey, you know, you're an idiot or something like that, but I never get the explanation. So if you guys could do me a favor, tell me why I'm an idiot. I'd love you for it. Be safe, have fun, succeed, and we'll see you out there somewhere, guys. Say hi. Gear Grinders Transport, that's the name of the company. White truck, red trailer, got a fairing on the top of it that I'm messing with right now. Gear Grinders. YouTube channel, of course, 9 Fingers Trucking, because, you know, I can only count to 8.5, 9 right now without taking my shoes off. And again, that's it. Long-winded. Thanks, guys. Bye.